catching some sun right now. We've got some more pepper plants, jalapeno right up here in front, and a couple more poblanos growing in the background there. And right behind them, you see our pole beans are starting to grab hold of the trellis. Should be heading up and growing up on there. Picking beans here pretty soon. Now I don't know if anybody remembers last seeing this pumpkin plant, but yeah, look at it. It's taken over, and this pumpkin here is getting big. Look at that thing. Gaining a lot of weight every single day. And it was just a couple weeks ago, it was just a little tiny thing. Now look at it. Right on. Yeah, that plant is really getting around there. As we can see in the background here, our tomato plants are doing really well. Now I'm just going to kind of give a view from here. Let's get in the shade a little bit so you can see them. Just kind of give a view here of how each one of them look. They're all getting really tall, filling in. What I'm going to do here in the next couple of episodes here is do a kind of a more tomato only video. We're going to go through and we'll fill in these buckets, we'll fertilize, we'll do a bunch of different things, pruning and stuff like that as well. So we'll get into those a little bit more here in the next couple episodes. Alright, so down here we've got our other bed of strawberries. As we go into the other side, the back alleyway here. The strawberries really filling in real nice. And I showed a video of this before, put a video on the Facebook page as well, talking about this guy. Complete volunteer. It's growing right out of the gravel. And you want to know about a tomato plant and its ability to grow and basically just go wild anywhere. I mean, a tomato plant will grow almost anywhere. Especially it being a volunteer. The seed chose when it wanted to come up. It's growing to its strength. But yeah, I'm gonna have to tie that back, get it up out of the road, because already we can tell it's getting some road damage. Getting hit by the cars and whatnot coming through here, so I'll take a minute here in a little bit and I'll pull that back and kind of pin it back to that power pole there. Let's take a look down here. We planted out these beans and these eggplants. I wasn't too sure about how well these eggplants will do. Still not too sure exactly how well they will do. We will see. They look really well. They're not really getting much damage by anything here. It's getting a lot of new growth coming out of the top. So I'm hoping they'll get up a little bit more as to not shade out too much these bush beans that we've got planted out. But everything seems to be looking really well on that. And then there's our sunflowers. All of our sunflowers are now, as I said, way up above the fence line. I'm gonna have to turn this way so we don't get too much sun, but look how tall that one is. Still growing. I think it's just now starting to form a head up there. Down here we got one hanging out down below. Still several still yet to form, like this one right here. This looks like it'll be like one of the darker ones. Just ready to come on out of there. Bees are already going crazy for them. One of the things we did in one of our previous episodes is planted out our Three Sisters experiment in the back alleyway garden here. So let's get down and take a look and see how well that's doing now. So you can see corn is coming up real strong. We've got all of our squash plants, and down at the end down there we've got some cucumbers as well growing in there. Squash really coming out. Still not producing any fruit yet. Waiting on that as far as those go. I know there's a couple from the other plants in there as well. As you can tell right in here, you can see that our bean plants are vining really well. And coming right up our stalks of our corn. One of the things I'm having to do right now though too is because I probably put the beans in too soon. Probably should have waited just a little bit more to let the corn grow up a little bit more, so I'm having to keep the beans down a little bit, pulling them back so that they're not pulling down on the corn itself. But everything seems to be growing like exceptionally well, so I imagine there's gonna be beans popping out of here real soon. We do got some growth growing there. Let's see. That was our Diva cucumber. And over here, like I said, we got our zucchini squash here, some more of it growing. I probably really did some overkill on zucchini, but people really like it too. It's really easy to gift. I've given away several of them so far already. But the plants are looking really nice. If you remember, this one right up front is a volunteer. It came in, so the volunteer definitely stronger, more resistant than the previous one, which was right behind it, which is the plant. You see with this leaf here behind it. This plant was just decimated by bugs. I was really worried about what it was going to do. It's completely caught up with the other one. They're both just basically growing into each other. They look like one big giant plant, but that's actually two. And then down here we've got, if I'd only remember what I planted, right? So we got some winter butternut squash that's starting to come together, and I believe when I last looked at this I saw a forming fruit. It might have fallen off though. There's another vine of it right over here actually. Oh, there we go. There it is. Look at that. So there you go. That's your female flower there. It's got the fruit behind it. Nice beautiful flower here. And search out that male flower, might help that pollinate. Alright, so we got the male flower, peeled back the petals from it. We'll pull back the petals from the female flower. And I know this is a family channel. Yeah, I can see inside there. They just want to kind of dance with each other there a little bit. And all that, let it close up like it wants, and that should be nice and pollinated. Hopefully that fruit will set well. We'll keep an eye on that. And next to it's a cucumber. Some forming up there now. Keeping our vines trailing along the bottom of our corn stalks. And we got another cucumber plant back here as well. that's pretty much the three sisters there. Corn, beans, squash. Looking pretty good. Not too bad for growing in your alleyway. That concludes the home part of our garden tour. Let's head off down to the community garden and see what we got growing on there. Okay, we're down at the community garden. I'm gonna take a few minutes here, just a quick little tour around at the community garden plots. Let's go and take a look and see what we got growing on here. All right, so before we can actually take a look around at these plots, I'm gonna have to get some weeding and work done here. So just give me a second, we'll get her done. All right, there we go. We got it all done. I don't know if you can really tell much difference, but there was a ton of weeds and everything that have been really overgrowing in the garden right now. It's really just kind of in a haphazard type of shape right now. The tomatoes are not caged or anything, so they're just pretty much outgrowing. However, we've pulled out most of our onions, which we'll save for onion seeds that we will do a seeding video later on in the season. Let's go and check out what we got growing on here. Starting on the first plot here, we've cleared out most of all of our greens and everything, similar to the home garden. Everything is pretty much gone to seed, and we still got some kales going there, and I do got a little bit of greens left over there too. And we've got our Swiss chard, which I cut back really a whole bunch, took a lot of leaves off of there. Go down, we've got some cabbages still going. I don't even know what's going to happen with these or what these will really do much. There are a couple just kind of forming some heads a little bit there too, so, and that's another problem. Seeing a lot of white fly right now too, so definitely going to have to look into taking care of that. And here's one of our first tomato plants here. Like I said, no cages. We're just going to let them kind of grow. However, this season I was going to get some cage setups, but a little bit late on that. I might put some poles up or something like that, kind of keep them contained a little bit. But we do got tomatoes forming and growing there. So looking to watch those ripen up. We moved the onions from the plots, but we still have our leeks here, so I'll be coming back here in another day or so and removing these ones as well and get our seed harvest going. Get some more chard that was hiding down in here. And one of our tomato plants. Getting some tomatoes forming all over, really nice. And come around the side here. We do got our lemon cucumber plant, which I'm still not seeing any cucumbers growing on it yet. I feel so unfortunate sometimes seeing so many of these really great harvest videos and people with such really good stuff, and my things are still a little behind. But I'm sure there'll be plenty when they start coming. All right, there's the other side of the tomato plant we just looked at there. Do got some, looks like one of my other cucumbers here is vining up the side of that tomato plant. We'll have to separate those guys there. Here, I kind of want to step over real quick and show you this. We had some beans growing in, a bean plant that just volunteered and came up itself, so we got some beans to be harvesting up there. But when I was pulling that up and weeding around it, right up underneath, I noticed, well, we don't need that guy, but one of our Armenian yard-long cucumbers hiding out underneath of there. So that's really exciting to see. We do have one of those growing. Expect that to get a lot larger as well. And over here we got one of our cherry tomatoes. Producing tons and tons of little cherry tomatoes. I suspect we'll be ripening up here real soon. So hopefully real soon I'll have some tomatoes to eat. And here on the little fence thing here we had our snow peas, and most of the pods here are nice and dry. So we'll harvest up those things and save those seeds for our next sowing of snow peas this fall. And right behind them, we've got this little pepper plant I put in there, and I think it's just a little shaded out, too shaded out, but look at that. Nice little baby bell pepper there growing on it right now. Clear this fence out here too. That'll help open up some more light to it too, so I'm sure it'll take off in a little bit there. And our beans. Bush beans are growing, coming up all right. I see lots of little flowers and whatnot, so we should have beans setting on these things pretty soon. I do hope and expect them to bush up and get a lot bigger as well. More chives, some basil and parsley. Now on this side here, now a lot of these pepper plants that we planted along the plot here on this side are still kind of small, especially this one here, yet producing some pods. And we got another zucchini growing here. We'll have to harvest up another zucchini. This pepper plant, I don't see any pods forming on it yet. Got some melons growing along the base of the beds of our plots here. I think we got some jalapenos coming up here. And some more of those long, what are they, Dostis Landes peppers. It's just the same with the plant at the house. These things are just so prolific. They just start popping and putting peppers out like crazy. That one there. That's a nice long one there. Love these peppers though. I can't wait for them to ripen up. Very, very delicious pepper. And over here we got some poblanos forming on one of our stronger, better plants here in the plot. So as we can see here, we got a lot of melons and cantaloupe plants growing, and we do have some watermelons and some cantaloupes forming. Looking really nice there. A few of them there. So that's really exciting there. Love seeing that cantaloupe right now. And look, here we got some Cubanelle peppers, which I'm gonna have to take off the plant and take home with me. So those there, and I think I got another jalapeno here as well growing. And another zucchini. As I said, so much zucchini, and these ones are starting to get really big, so we'll be pulling these off of the plants as well. Get those taken out. Look at that one. That's a really nice one there. And one more down in here too. Really nice. So we'll harvest up some zucchini. And underneath the zucchini, got trapped underneath, was one of these peppers here. I believe this is another one of those Sugar Rush. Look at that pod. That looks really nice. Really, really nice pod there. Hiding underneath here. Get some more pods forming. So I'll help get this guy back up so the sun can help it push its way out of there. We got this one here. This is another one, the Apache, producing. Looks like it's just starting to take off and produce lots of little pods here. Very compact little plant, pushing out the pods. And over here we got a crookneck squash, and it's got several fruit. It's coming off of it. Two more I gotta take off this one. And we got our poor little pepper plant. This one's here's the Reaper, and it's just not wanting to get much bigger in this spot, so I don't know. We'll see. Keep feeding it some fertilizer and whatnot and see if we can't get that thing to come back. And we got some basil and this watermelon, which was suffering and having such a hard time, did decide to produce these little tiny watermelons. These things are tiny, look at that. That's my hand. That's the watermelon. Guess we got something out of it, huh? All right, now here's one of our sunflowers. Trying to produce a flower head there. And this is one of the smaller ones. This one's probably, I would say, about a foot shorter than I am. And then back here, we've got our other ones. Look at those things. I would say at this point, that guy is somewhere around 8 feet, maybe, a little over 8 feet tall. And the one behind it, maybe another foot or so taller, but actually producing a flower head. And I actually had to trim it back, the leaves, just so I could get through here. It was really shading a lot of things out. I trimmed it back really good. Watch those flower heads form, get a lot bigger. All right, one of the things I want to show you, let's check something out real quick. In one of my neighbor's plots, I got an artichoke plant. Now the artichokes are starting to spread out. At that point in time, they form a flower. And you have to say that these flowers are probably one of the most spectacular flowers you'll find in a garden. Take a look at this. That's what an artichoke flower looks like when it blooms out. All right, everyone, thank you so much for coming along with me today on this garden tour. I know it went a little bit long. When you've got a lot of things going on in your gardens like we do here at the home garden, here at the community gardens, there's just so much to show. So I'm glad that you took the time to spend with me today on this video and checking out my gardens. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything at all, hit me at the comment section below. And thanks once again for subscribing, and all of you out there for following along in my garden adventure. We'll see you again on the next episode of The Urban Gardener. What's this cat doing? What are you doing, bug? What's going on, sweetheart? Yeah?